The 8th chapter of John is famous for 5 words: go and sin no more. But all too often, they're taken as permission to police society's morals. For this reason, the church is too often known for the things it stands against, not the things it stands for. But good deeds help demonstrate that we are very much for love, acceptance, kindness, mercy, generosity, and advocating for the vulnerable and marginalized. So let's look at this account again. In verses 3 to 4, we read, "The scribes and Pharisees brought to him a woman caught in adultery. They said to him, 'Teacher, this woman was caught in adultery in the very act.'" I've always wondered how exactly that worked. Was there a Pharisee hiding behind the curtain, holding off a sneeze, waiting for the perfect gotcha moment? And unless adultery worked differently back then, where's the bloke? Whatever's cooking, this isn't justice, it's a setup. In verse 5, this holiness mob has the gall to quote the Bible at Jesus, saying, "Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what do you say?" John makes it clear in verse 6, this they said, testing him. Wow, only a heartless, loveless religion would use another person's sin to try to trap an opponent. Only a cold, heartless, loveless religion would use another person's shame in their theological stunt. But Jesus doesn't play the blame and shame game. Instead, he addresses her accusers in verses 6 to 8. "He who is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone." Then Jesus stooped down and wrote on the ground with his finger. I often wonder what Jesus wrote in the dust. I have a few theories. Here's one. Jesus walked up to the first guy and wrote, "You were behind the curtain watching." He turned to another. "You were on the bed, being watched." The third saw him coming and thought, "Oh boy, I'm out of here." They all hit the road because when Jesus turned the spotlight around, every bloke there realized he had his own mess to deal with. Those rocks suddenly became very heavy in their hands. They went from weapons to incriminating evidence in about 3 seconds flat. Then the woman finds herself alone with God himself, with holiness personified, the only one without sin, the only one who could condemn her. In verse 10, Jesus asks her, "Where are those accusers of yours? Has no one condemned you?" She replies, "No one, Lord." Then he says 10 words to her, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Here's the thing. Jesus only said those words after he put his body on the line for her. Not metaphorically, literally. He stood between a guilty woman and a murderous mob armed with rocks, refusing to let her become a prop in their theological stunt. He didn't just talk mercy, he embodied it. So, don't miss the message of John 8. The God of the universe earned the right to speak truth because he first showed love, sacrificial love. He risked his life to defend her, the ultimate good deed. This was the gospel embodied. This was love demonstrated. That's the gospel given context. People don't care 2 hoots how much we know until they know how much we care. You see, the world won't hear us until they first experience the Father's love through us. Yes, our good deeds don't replace the gospel, but they do make the gospel visible. When we show mercy before we speak, when we stand between the broken and their accusers, we give the world a glimpse of Jesus. And when Jesus put his body on the line on the cross, he stretched out his hands for you, for me, for the whole world, accomplishing the ultimate good deed. Loved like that, how can we do anything but demonstrate the same love to others?